Ha da 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 da. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Katawa Shoujo. And guys, I just want to do a little quick apology. I know most of you probably don't care, but I'm gonna try to make these next two episodes a little shorter. It's better for me, and it's better for I think you guys maybe. But anyways, let's get back into it. Last time, Shizune and Misha were being mean to us, so fuck y'all. Cut me and Lily some slack. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much, even if I wanted. That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting. So I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses, Mrs. Class Rep. I'm sorry. You're not Mrs. Class Rep, are you? Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report, and we repeatedly offer you a position to help the student council, but you refuse to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if... I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it'll mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune, and that is what she wants. Whatever, forget it. I turn my back at them. Flipping the double bird. Lily class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she has ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week. And turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back, and can't really bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. At the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footstep as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Ooh, wow, I really made her mad. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely at the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is looking pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The class at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything for in over 7 minutes. Instead, opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard. Chalk on chalkboard. Sounds like a great YouTube channel you could start right now. Seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune signing so fast that her hands make noise like swords cutting through the air. Or like Trunks doing that really complicated hand thing that he does before he releases that energy blast on Frieza. I don't know. Maybe there's pent-up anger in there. Misha's desperately trying to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. Put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it sounds like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle. Ow. And Misha struggles to spit out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, And then, on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Maybe she should leave Shizune, and we can have a 3 girls and a boy club where everyone but Shizune is invited. Their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down on their seats again. Oh, wow, I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again. Though, I suspect that door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in the school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me. But in the end, she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Oh god. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course, we're in the student council, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council's generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws, or I think that was encumbrances? No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. She's a nice, passionate speech, and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting of them. Oh, hello. Yo, it's Hanako. Yo, Hanako. Lily was looking for you. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at the... Oh, and then there's a cute little blush, alright. Blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the door, where only her fingers can be seen wrapped around nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so. Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Satao. She came by in the morning, though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What's she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she is intimidating enough as is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako is. It's a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom, working on the festival project, but who knows where that woman is loitering at. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she is not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah. I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression. She seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. It's not as bad during dinner time, is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking a comfortable pace down the hallway. It's almost as if we're going for a little stroll together, something that I can't say I've really done before with a girl. You think I'm some sort of degenerate who strolls with girls? No way, Jose. Saving it. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she's never comes within arm's reach of me. Guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks lower than usual. Have you already looked somewhere else already? Just at the library. I was reading. So she does spend class she skips at the library. So not exactly thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class, like she's an essay, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Or maybe just velvet gloves. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. I'm not sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us are content that this discussion's reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without as much of a second glance. And Hanako takes up position to my side again. As we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've ever known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as mediator, I doubt Hanako would have even been able to walk beside me like this. She seems completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence while I ruin her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible. From the halfway down the hallway, I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first, then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if it's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually the two of us reached the door to class 3-2. With Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me, I opened the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess the first priority should be finding Lily. There. Among the din is surprisingly easy, not least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we reach Lily. Hi, Lily. You just waved at the blind girl. Nice one. She perks her head up as she breaks off, talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best as she can. Sorry, who? Sorry, Hisao. I have Hanako too. Hi. She's pretty skittish, considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to figure out why. Lily takes a moment to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again. For the moment, just ask Moria for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already. With a quick nod, she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in a corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. That's right. Class 3-2 was especially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you some help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good. But I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods an affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lily gives a noticeable sigh of relief. That's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Kenji? Sure. She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met. Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're making friends so fast. Friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. I think that he might be more of a pest. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. We'll go help him then. He knows what needs to be doing, right? That's right. Just ask if you have any problems. Chorusing in assent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the half-painted kanji that's sketched on the pad in pencil. Kenji? Huh? What? Who is it? Oh god, not this again. If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. No, it's me, Hisao from... Right, I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. At least it's not another, "you're a psychic spy" speech, though. I don't know if I could handle another one of those. He must be the type to get really focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's still there. I was just gonna help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is. Hello. Oh, or hey, I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face. His sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh right, women. Second thoughts, this might not have been a great idea after all. As long as the feminist conspiracy thing doesn't happen. I think Hanako might explode if he started coming at her with those types of accusations. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting several small paint tins on the ground around it. Class 3-2, noodle stall? You guys sell noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside, or something. Or something. His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So, how do you want to split this? We do the borders while you do the text, or do you want to switch and do the borders? Text is mine, you do borders. He has surprisingly strong feelings on the subject. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use. By the time I've put brush to cloth, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorially, though. Okay, man, why are you here? Hanako just wants some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover. Yeah, I'm going deep under some covers. I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously. It sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school, a harsh world. Yes, very harsh. Let's hope it doesn't harsh my mellow. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied. I'm sympathetic to his cause. I'd better get down to work. Finished. Looks like I am too. Good job. The two of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close to the copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji finishing off as a sign, as well as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend to there, just how much of her body was burned. I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment, before noticing I mean the banner. It does. I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. Smile and blush? From Hanako? Lucky days, boys. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on the desks and shelves, it's much easier to get Lily across as we cross the room. We finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done? Lily gives an appreciative nod. Thank you, Hisao. Hanako? If there's any way I can thank you... It's fine, beats sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods before remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, just finished. He carefully slides his sign onto a empty section of shelf to dry, before quickly walking past us and out the door. See ya, man. Bye, Felicia. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed. This class's plans this year were ambitious. Maybe too ambitious. The stall looks nice, though. She's right. It shows that a lot of work's gone into them. My. I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting makes the garden look quite different. Compared to the usual lush of greenery, things are much more calm. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and fro the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without noticing it, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Shizune took me off guard, though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Her voice sounds slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune obviously unwilling to discuss it further. I glance at Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is, unsurprisingly, evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over in any case. The change of topics welcomed clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine. My old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stresses the idea of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. That'd go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. Oh, hey. I don't think Rin's actually done any work. As we can come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time for us to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily, Hanako. The two both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. As it is to be expected of such an arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around the outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. Wink, wink. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my back, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long, before walking to my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. I'm feeling tired, so I set my alarm clock to wake me up as late as I can afford, while still making it to the first class. The nurse's voice is almost nagging in the back of my head about morning jogs. I make a resolution to make up for it by going for a walk after school tomorrow. Emmy won't care either way, I bet. I hope you took your pills. I know I probably don't want to read the words, now Hisao took his pills, but, take your pills, Hisao, just in case you aren't. I wake up and take a hot shower. Back in my room, the first thing I see is the familiar row of medication bottles lined up on the top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed, as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made my peace with this thing and gotten over it, but what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of the reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before. For months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that life is definitely not going to be as long as those of the others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it is a life in progress. That is how I rationalize it. I down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to class early as usual. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me, soundlessly, like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him, "Hey!" He jumps at the sound of my voice. "Oh, hey, man. I didn't notice you. I'm really tired." I think it's more likely that he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. "Where have you been this early? Shopping?" "Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher." "Yeah, I figured it'd be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want. So what's in the bag?" "I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I needed supplies to fight against the vast feminist conspiracy." Okay. I thought you didn't go outside." "I wear a hat now." "Oh." I decided to not point out that he is not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound. That makes the moment only more awkward. Can't figure out where to put my elbow down. He sets the bag down inside his room and then closes the door. "I'm surprised that you went out of your way to find a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent." I never study. Oh. I just wanted to find out when the next test day was. I'm still gonna take it, duh. I need to know what day it is, so what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. And why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone? I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. I have no phone, and I must call. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? No phone? I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. Don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it. Beaten in the head. Well, where else would I get beaten in with a phone that would make me unable to remember it? The ass? Unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now, sensing this conversation is more or less over. Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is going to start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. Hey, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought 2 because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries. Thanks but no thanks? Whatever, man. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. Okay, guys. Because I'm going to, of course, try to make these episodes longer, stay safe, have fun, and try not to buy like individual AA batteries. Most things usually take 2, so unless it's my mouse only takes a single AA battery. Whatever. One of those things is more important than the others, and till next time, bye.